Republican Senator Tim Scott has made waves over the last 24 hours. He gave a speech last night in response to President Joe Biden's joint session of Congress address. And he defended the Republican point of view. He critiqued President Biden, but he made a very particular claim. He said that America was not a racist country. People on Twitter, of course, went nuts and said, what are you talking about? America is a racist country. And they began to offer all sorts of evidence in response to it. But they also lit Senator Tim Scott up a little bit by saying to him, you should know better. You're one of few black Congress members in the Senate. You should know better. You said yourself you experienced racism. You should know better. You're a black man in America. And they showed no mercy as the controversial phrase Uncle Tim started to trend on social media. It got ugly. Twitter announced earlier today, though, that it was blocking the Uncle Tim hashtag, which was trending because it was racist and offensive. It got ugly, man. But we kept going. We kept pressing. We kept critiquing him. And what I wanted to do today was have a conversation with someone to talk about their perspective on the ongoing discussion of racism in the United States and the controversy surrounding the phrase Uncle Tim. Black conservative Jay-Juan Shakur Jones. He joins me on Black News Tonight. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right, so let's talk about this. The first thing is, Senator Tim Scott says that America is not a racist country. I want your take on why America is not a racist country, since you said you agree with him.
Yes, I agree with him for a simple reason, that we live in 2001. It is April of 2001. My belief is no different than current vice president's response today, talking to George Stephanopoulos. She said the same thing. She does not believe America is a racist country. But she goes on to talk about the history of it. If we're talking about the history of America, of course, you have to deal with the 50s and 60s and beyond. But we're talking about today, where black people, particularly black people in America, of any people of African descent, have more opportunity and are more privileged than any people of African descent on the planet. So I agree wholeheartedly with him, and I do so because the facts just do not follow it. Yes, there is racism. That's not anything that I believe Senator Scott denied. But in the grand scheme of things, are black people where they were 50, 60, 70 years ago? No.
Is it possible that America could have been more racist 70 years ago but still be racist, based on your logic?
Based on my logic, I don't think so. And I say that because the idea of the premonition that Senator Tim Scott was attacking or responding to is that America today is still systemically racist, that no matter who you are, what you do, or your personal decisions, you will be oppressed, or you are oppressed, or you are a victim or victimized in this country by the simple nature of your skin color. I don't agree with that. Again, the facts do not follow that.
Okay, you say the facts don't follow that. That's an interesting idea.
Yes.
So we know that, for example, black people who commit crimes, drug crimes, for example, get longer sentences than white people, even if they have the same drugs, the same amount of drugs, and are doing the same actions. We know that black children are suspended in school more. We know that black children are expelled from school and don't have lower graduation rates, even when we control for class. We look at COVID rates, and we see that black people are dying at higher rates. We see that black women, for example, get pain medicine in a hospital. They're less likely to get pain medicine in a hospital based on their skin color. Would you consider those structural factors or individual choice factors?
My question to some of those instances is, how do we know empirically, not assumptions, not implied, how do we know that those issues are due solely because of race or due primarily because of race? When you look at the illiteracy rate of the black community,
I can answer that for you. I can answer that for you.
Go ahead.
So there have been longitudinal studies in education, for example. If you just look at the data, they do that. And again, we can also control for other factors like race, like class, like geography, etc. When we look at the studies in hospitals, we see the reports, and also we can see what level of pain you have to express to get certain types of drugs in hospitals. And when we control for, or when we identify race or isolate race, we see that as a factor. So there is empirical data to substantiate that. But my question is, would you consider those systemic issues?
No, I wouldn't consider those systemic issues in the sense that based on where we currently live, how we currently operate, there are currently no amendments to the Constitution. There are currently no laws on the federal level on the books that particularly discriminate against, particularly alienate, or particularly group black people and then separate them. We don't see that. We don't see that. In fact, America, unlike any country on the planet, has made progress to remedy those wrongs. Is there work that needs to be done? Yes, but to make the claim, to make the statement that America is systemically racist, it's endemic, and there's nothing that we can do because it's at our core, is a flat out lie. We made the progress in the 50s, we made the progress in the 60s, and we continually every day make progress. I agree with Senator Tim Scott as well as VP Harris that America.
I got you on the progress. I got you on the progress. Let me give you just one more example. So there environmental studies show that black neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods, but specifically black poor neighborhoods, are overpolluted. They're more likely to put nuclear waste there. They're more likely to have lead in the water than their white counterparts. Again, this isn't an individual choice. No one is disputing the data on this. Would you consider that a systemic issue?
A systemic issue? No, because again, I'm asking the question of motive. I'm going to the question of motivation. How do we know, sir, Professor? How do we know that they are putting waste here simply because this is a black area or this is a black neighborhood? How do we know that? There could be other factors.
I see.
There could be other factors. Not saying it's okay. Not saying it's validated. It's wrong. But there could be other factors, and there typically are other factors. It's cheaper.
I see. You're making an interesting argument. So you're saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. There was a delay. So you're saying it might not be intentional. I concede that point. Let's say it's not intentional. Let's say all the disproportionate sentencing, all the disparate treatment in school, all the hospital issues. Let's say all of that is unintentional, right? But it still disproportionately negatively affects black people. That would still be a systemic issue, even if it's unintentional, right?
How would it be a systemic issue? Again, there are issues. There are problems. And again, if we're dealing with if you want to deal with systemic issues, if you want to talk about systemic issues, we have to ask a basic borderline question. What is the system or systems we're talking about? And then again, who controls and runs those systems? And if we alienate those systems to being only about a particular melanin content, I have an issue with that. If you look at every major institution that makes up the system, that makes up the systems we adhere to, media, the government, right now, 2/3 of the government is controlled by what? Liberals, Democrats. I look at it more so as an ideology that causes these disproportionalities, these issues. I don't look at it more so as a particular skin color doing that. This is 2021. Again, we don't see the same motivations behind certain things as we would probably have seen in the 50s and the 60s.
So let me answer your question. So a systemic issue doesn't have to be intentional. A systemic issue means that irrespective of one's individual choice or intention, certain kinds of outcomes happen as a matter of process, right? So it doesn't matter why it happens. It's the fact that it does happen. So for example, if I built a door, right, and the door were only 4 feet tall, and I built it at 4 feet tall because that's all I could build. That's all I knew how to build. That's all I could reach. And every day people over 4 feet tall couldn't get in. I had no intention of alienating people over 4 feet tall. But it doesn't negate the fact that there is a systemic problem. There's a structural problem in the door that alienates people over 4 feet tall. So people over a 5-foot person or a 6-foot person, someone like you, would be systemically excluded from entry into the next room, even though it wasn't my intention. And so when we look at school, when we look at hospitals, when we look at all of this data, it's a systemic exclusion. It's a systemic deprivation that we're talking about. Now, I don't concede that it's all at the level of intention because, again, we see all the data, all the evidence, even as well as anecdotal stuff shows that there's a lot of anti-black attitudes out there. There's a lot of racism out there, a lot of white supremacy. I'll let you finish. Just let me finish this point, and I want you to respond. But my point here is that just by definition, what systemic means is not something we can disagree on. That's an actual definition. But I want to give you a chance to respond, and then I want to move to this other piece on Tim Scott.
Okay, quickly. If we want to deal with systems, which I do not concede that there's systemic provable racism, meaning there's something stringent there. Now, I do contend that there are systems. Obviously, society operates by systems. Again, you said the door is 4 feet tall and I'm 6 feet. Let's use that example. And it's preventing me. It's not intentionally doing it, but it's still preventing me. Again, how about we deal in solutions with voting differently or electing, in this example that you're using, a different builder that will build differently, instead of doing what we do often in the black community, vote continually the same way in a pattern for the same type of politician, the same party, get nothing in return. And we only get symbolism, as we got this election and the elections prior, but no substance.
So your argument is to make different choices so we can change the system.
Yes, it all goes back to personal choice. That personal choice,
right?
At the basic level, goes
so
to
changing the system means that the system must be changed. And if you're conceding that the system must be changed, then you're conceding that there is a systemic issue. And the systemic issue in this case, with regard to race, is systemic racism. But before I appreciate you coming around to my point there. But before we go, there was an interesting idea here that came up on Twitter, which is calling him Uncle Tim, which is an allusion to, of course, him being an Uncle Tom. As a black conservative and someone who sort of has converted to black conservatism, as you talk about, sort of coming out as a black conservative. What do you make of black conservatives being called Uncle Toms and stuff like that?
I think it shows and it exemplifies the soft bigotry that is emblematic and at the core of white liberalism. They feel justified in referring to black people as Uncle Toms, and worse. That's a kinder term. That's a nicer term. So I think it's emblematic of the soft bigotry. Them placing themselves as the perpetual overlords of Black America, stepping in to be the white savior, to save the poor, oppressed Black people. That's emblematic of them. It was expected, if anything, from them. And I want to make this point. I want to make this point extremely clear as it concerns white liberals and that expectation of them calling Black people, or particularly conservative Black people, Uncle Toms, etc. Dealing with that, just because there are cracks or issues in a system, in a system, does not mean the entire system is messed up. The entire system needs to be abolished. What my friends who are liberal, what my friends who are on the other side of the aisle, so to speak, say or believe, or many of them believe, is that the entire system is just corrupt and we need to throw it out. And if anyone like Senator Tim Scott, who goes out against it narrative, says the whole system is not messed up. The system has made progress. The system is not messed up. There is racism, but
do you think the current system?
Anyone who says that.
Before I got about 30 seconds. Do you think that the current system makes it impossible for Black conservatives to be respected, and that it does does the current system promote that soft bigotry against? So you think the current system promotes soft bigotry against Black conservatives?
Yes, because is that
racist? Hold on, is that racist? Is that racist?
Yes, but again,
that soft bigotry against Black conservatives. So you just said that there's a system that is soft bigotry. That would be a racist system, sir.
That's done by ideology.
By an ideology. Right. You just said that the current system
is done by white liberal. It's done by white liberals, and that's an ideology. White liberalism is an ideology. Now, of course, they vote and they go through the processes of our society. But
I got to run. I apologize. I got to run, but I promise I got to run. I got to have you back though. That's a wonderful tie. That's a Howard University tie. So I'm sure Morehouse people right now and Hampton people are cheering right now because of this debate. Welcome back. Anytime, brother. You can come back anytime you want. But stay with us. We'll be back with more Black news tonight right after this.